Welcome back to my DM journal of our Dragon Heist. This is about session 6, and let's just get into it. So only 3 players were able to show up in today's game, which that put a little bit of a hamper on things. I did need to change some things around, move some social encounters, and also had combat encounters as well. Wasn't too bad. So 3 of the characters are inside Troll Skull Manor. The other 3 are looking around for information about their background throughout the city. Silverhand comes around and finds the party at Troll Skull around 4 p.m. and she explains to them about how the kobolds and the white wormling that they fought off, they lost the trail and they weren't going to put a lot of effort into searching for those, as the threat level wasn't very high, as there was too much stuff going on in the city as it is. The portal that they found was very interesting. The power that it held and the craftsmanship that made it caused the Blackstaff to want to go and look into it more. So about a living world, right? I want to make sure that the things that the players have done, they've affected, things are happening. Not just around them, but also around the city, around the world. Not everything goes around them. I want to make sure at points, that they did, maybe that they caused, or maybe that they saw, it comes back later so that, they realize, oh, things are happening when we're not around, so that they understand that when you do something, not necessarily, you won't necessarily see the consequence right then and there. Silverhand explained about Blackstaff and how she will probably be in contact with the group soon, as they've already kind of started to make a name for themselves in the city in such a short amount of time, as well as finding some very strong arcana that known to the Blackstaff. It was right underneath her nose, and they found it, not her. She explained some info that they asked about like the troll that they got in possession of, expressed her background, as well as how the assassins that they were following have gone underground. And they have some time to kind of to chill, to get supplies, and to get ready for what's coming up next. I want to make sure that my game doesn't feel like a railroad. I want to make sure that they have agency, that they get to choose what they want to do. I want to make sure that they know they have a bit of time right now to explore the city, to see the hopefully living world I'm trying to create, so that they also have choices in the next couple sessions where to go, and it doesn't feel like they have to rush, as there's this looming timetable that they have to stick to. But as soon as I feel like they got enough free time, I'm just gonna throw them right back into the fire and get right back into the plot and stuff. The players who's speaking to Silverhand receives a message through the sending spell from Blackstaff, and they're told to come visit her and possibly get employment into her faction, the Greyhands. They agree to head out and meet with Blackhand, and on the way there, they decide to get work some new clothes so that he doesn't stand out as much as he would inside his normal clothes, where from the world that he came from before. They then, after buying some new clothes, they head to Blackstaff and began the discussion about possible employment with the Greyhands and the possible mission that they take up. At this point, I want to bring up about how much they're aware. I want to bring up how they're showing more awareness with this world than any other game I believe we've ever played with, and that's just really cool to see. I know I just brought up work about like paying attention to the kind of clothes he's wearing, but take Vengeance. He's the ghost in the group, and he takes tea from Blackhand, and as soon as she turns to grab her own tea, he tosses it into a bush to make sure that he's not upsetting her because he's not drinking it, as well as he doesn't drink it and just falls into the floor. It's just neat little things that they're paying attention to, and they're making sure that they're not breaking the world, or they're making sure they're fitting into this world better. So they agree to the quest that Blackstaff has handed to them, and so they're on their way to meet a monk in Mount Waterdeep. And as they're hiking up this mountain, they run into some orcs and ogres, and this is, I started realizing I had to tweak some of the encounters. During this battle, I gave them clues that instead of what I've been doing before, that they could scout out necessarily everything. During the battle, I gave them clues about that something was coming. Ground shaking, certain noises, shadows that were flying overhead, and they started becoming more aware of this time limit. Oh, this voice is getting louder, the shadows getting closer. And I really like this because having done this encounter this way made it feel more intense. And as they were fighting, more monsters were coming, and it made some of them be like, okay, we can sit and fight, and we can do this if we do this in a certain way. And others were like, okay, I think we should get out of here, which was kind of cool because there was a little bit during everybody's turns. Everyone's kind of, some of them are stepping back to get away, some of them are diving in, and watching a different dynamic happen than normal. Normally what happens in my encounters is they walk into a room or they get ambushed or something and they're all there. This way I liked a lot more because it was like evolving battle, and the way that they were thinking and the way they were using their abilities was different. So I'm sure I'm going to use this more often, and I'm going to change it up with more of my encounters this way. So during this encounter, I did mess up some of the rules, and I realized this. And if I started to do it now, if I started to rule like I normally do, or rule to the rules of the book, things would have been harder for the party. They could have ended up being dead. And, I kind of gave them kind of a hint during the fight about this, like, hey, there's something kind of messed up. I kind of forgot about a rule, but I'm not going to do it now. But later, we're going to have to do it. And then I realized that I was actually right in the first place, and I was mixing up my additions, the 3.5, the 4, the 5e, the Pathfinder. I was mixing them all up, and I ended up having to express to them after the battle. And then even later this week, I had to explain to them like, hey, I messed up twice. I told you one thing. I was playing it one way, and I told you it was the this way, but actually it is the way that we played. And so I'm kind of adding some confusion, which I don't really like, and it's really on me. It's me getting confused with all the different rule sets that I have in my head. And I've only been doing this for a little bit, so I couldn't imagine if I'd been playing since the 80s and having all the different ones in my brain. But so they now understand the rules, hopefully better than I do, so that they could call me out on those, especially when I'm wrong. But, it is what it is. They get to the monk's cave and they start a conversation with him. He speaks in riddles, and so they needed to kind of figure out what he kind of means. So they kind of write it down to make sure they can just give the exact message to Blackstaff. The monk also recognizes vengeance and speaks to him about how he's always around when this demigod of evil's always around. And I'm starting to put a little bit of his backstory into the game, which is cool, and it's starting to trigger some things in the world, which is which is cool and always fun to do for your players. After they get the information from the monk, they head back out. They raise a dead giant eagle that they killed in the fight before, hop on its back, and fly to Blackstaff and inform her about the upcoming threats that the monk informed him about, as well as how he informed him with all the riddles. The players head back to the Yawning Portal for their first long rest without really being bothered. Work goes and speaks to Bonnie about having her brothers come and work for them at their tavern that they're deciding to fix up and build. So that will happen soon, which is cool. So that's the end of our session review. I hope you guys like it. There's some issues that I have to deal with and some issues that I have to make sure it doesn't happen again. I like the fact that I figured out some of the encounters kind of on the spot. They're changing it up so that it could work better, but I have to make sure I get the rules right. I mean, it didn't really affect the play. Only having 3 people there wasn't bad either. I think it kind of helped pull one of them out a little bit more than normal, because normally he's kind of in the back making snide jokes and stuff, and this time he was pulling out a little bit. But he's going to be probably a major part next week, so we'll see if that helps him with some role playing stuff too. So that's it. If you guys liked it, let me know. Like it, share it with your friends. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you liked, disliked, and all that stuff. And like always, I hope you guys have a wonderful day.